Aloha! Michelle Hernandez here, and welcome to Life is Constant Hawaii TV. This channel is about showing you some pieces of the beautiful island of Maui, Hawaii, as well as uplifting your spirit and showing you things related to joy, peace, and love. Today, we're going to go check out some trails over in the Kapalua area on the west side of the island of Maui, Hawaii, and see some beautiful footage on the island. Also, later we're going to talk about my favorite topic, love, and how can we get more of that? What does it mean? Some really cool ideas associated with it. So stick with me and we're going to explore some cool things today. The island remains beautiful as always. Today we're going to talk about my favorite subject, which is love. Love, 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 love. Now, I would say every one of my videos is about love. It's just bringing it into our lives differently. Even the part of the island that I show in every video is shows love, because it's God, our Creator, created all of this for our enjoyment, because He loves us. And so everything is about love. And so the topic is huge, right? Like, so what today am I going to talk about with respect to love when every video is about love? Well, I guess I'm going to give you a little taste of my book that I wrote, A Father's Love, and just kind of tell you, just as far as my journey went through my entire life, was always in search of that absolute love. But one thing before I get there is, have you ever thought about the purpose of life? Like, have you ever thought, like, what good is this? Like, why are you here? And what is the whole purpose? Like, I've always thought about that question. Since I can't even remember how old I was when I started thinking about that. But I mean, you know, we have these goals of professions and school and jobs and family and all this stuff, right? So what, have you ever thought, like, what is the purpose? Because, you know, if you're dead tomorrow, you know, as far as your job goes, your education goes, your profession goes, somebody else is going to fill that, right? Somebody else will come in. What is the purpose of life? What is our number one purpose? And as cliche as it may sound, I have always come in, no matter what angle I looked at this whole issue, and believe you me, I'm an analytical thinker, so I think about this stuff in so many different directions. And I feel like the answer is, it's all about love. It's about loving our God, and it's about loving each other. It's about relationships. It's about building that love, and we can do it every single day if we choose. It's crazy to me to think about why it took me so long to figure that out, given the fact that Jesus gave us 2 commandments, you know, basically simplified the whole Bible with 2 instructions. Love God as your only God, and love each other. I mean, how much more simple can a person put it, right? But it takes a long time, I guess, before we can realize, to bring it into fullness of our heart and spirit of really what does that mean. And a lot of people think, you know, if you're like this loving person, that you're this weak person, that you're, you know, just always, you know, just, you're not tough, or you're not strong because you're just lovey-dovey. Well, yes, you can be lovey-dovey and being kind and gentle. And that's part of the Bible's definition of love. And but really, the real definition and the real biggest part, I believe, is love is the biggest weapon. Love conquers everything. It's to really love like the Bible is meant for us to love is actually very challenging and very difficult, and it takes a very strong person and a courageous person to love like the Bible describes love to be. And it's definitely, it's when we choose love in difficult situations, we still choose the higher perspective of things. We choose the better perspective of things. We choose not to be offended. We choose not to be hurt. We choose to carry on our life. We choose love for ourselves because we don't want our peace to be taken. And we choose a victorious life for ourselves, even in the worst of circumstances. I mean, that's love. So love is not a weak thing. Love is not for the weak. Love is for the strong. Love is for the determined. And love is really for all of us. That's why we are here. The thing is, most of us are doing it wrong, because we're trying to find somebody to bring love to us instead of focusing on the wholeness of ourselves first. We have to love ourselves before we can love others fully, right? And you need to really self-evaluate. Do you love yourself, or are you seeking love from somebody else to complete you? Because that's backwards. It's backwards. What you're going to do is you're going to have a broken person going with another broken person, and then inevitably the relationship is likely not to work. And we have over 50% of marriages ending in divorce. Ask yourself why. Why is that? In the law firm, family law issues, divorce issues was the biggest part of our firm, because unfortunately there's way more people needing help with that than other legal needs. So that tells you something. As an estate planning attorney for over 25 years, I had the privilege of spending time with many families and planning out how they're going to leave their money and their legacies to their children, to their families. Who are they going to leave that to? And as a result, and as a trusted advisor of my clients, they would share the intimate details of what was involved in raising their family and how their marriage was going, and all these, this was like one of the biggest decisions that they're making, and that what do they want to happen for their life work. So I was able to see and hear all these stories of these families. I could see clearly, some of the brokenness of people, the hearts of people. So I was able to see in a lot of families the dynamics that would come into play, and it soon was very relevant, and soon was very obvious that we all go through our process, and we all have these struggles, even though we're all looking for the same thing, which is love. And when we are raised in a blended household, when we don't have our mom and dad, that can contribute some stuff. We have divorce situations at a young age when we're kids, that can contribute to some different issues within your heart. Your dad dies in a very young age, your mom dies, you were adopted, you never knew your biological parent, whatever. I mean, the list goes on. There's so many variables out there, but one thing that I'll tell you that it relates to is what I call the abandonment issue, and that is an ability that our heart is wounded from a past situation that we really need to work on getting released. And the way that I found that was most effective was letting Jesus come into that situation and help us get free from that, so that we can love ourselves. We can get rid of that wound, because expecting another person to come in and fill that emptiness inside of you, with you not even knowing what is that emptiness, right? You think it's as simple as, well, if I just had someone to travel with life with and share my time with, and they would just love me, and then I would love them, and everything would be just great. But anyone in a relationship, in a marriage and all that, knows that relationship takes work, and it takes communication. And if we are not solid in our own hearts, we haven't self-examined that, what is that emptiness? For me, I didn't know my biological father, and he was not part of my life, so I had to fix that wound, and God helped me fix that wound. And in my book, you can hear all about how He helped me fix that wound. If you're jealous on things, it's to me a form of insecurity. It's a negative thing. You got to go deep inside yourself on what is the wound inside your heart that's having you do that, because it's blocking the trueness and the greatness of the love that you could have, but for that jealous that jealousy that somehow is there. We need to get rid of it. So my book goes in. I wrote a book called A Father's Love, and you can download it for free. It's a PDF version of my book. It's down in the description of this video, and just download it and read it. It's going to talk about like just certain issues of things of why, how you know that you're believing this lie, and this about love, like things that you're seeking out love from a human being. And how do you know you're a seeker in that respect? Like why, how do you know that you're one of those people that thinks that this other thing was going to come in as soon as you find a man or a woman for you, that's going to complete you. That's going to, that's going to be the end all of the life, or the lostness of your life. That will be it. And then you'll be all happy. But believe you me, that's not going to happen. And when you do find the person, it's not over. Inevitably, it is not that simple. You have to know how to love yourself, and then you can love them. Also, I would argue that we all have a desire deep inside of ourselves to connect to something bigger than us, bigger than the human race, and that's God. He's designed us that way, and when we find the Heavenly Father's love and we actually just say yes to Him, that's all we have to do is say yes to that love. It comes rushing in and fills us so much. It can actually get rid of all those wounds of the past immediately, supernaturally, or we might have to work it out and with His help heal from all of the things of our past. Once the secret of finding the ultimate love of the Heavenly Father's love came into my life, and I just said yes to that, it was a major game changer. Major game changer. I was able to love. I'd already been in a marriage, a loving marriage at the time, but it was even so much better after that encounter with the Lord. And then he soon had his own encounter, my husband did, and so our marriage just flourished after that. There wasn't arguments anymore. I mean, maybe I guess there would be a few disagreements, but anymore now it was more of discussions. It was more of a open dialogue. I mean, we knew the fullness of the Father's love, and we were bringing that into the marriage to make it a healthier marriage. The marriage was good, but it even got better after we brought in the Heavenly Father's love, and after we were fully completed by it, after we found out and fully accepted our fullness of the identity of being a child of God, and that He really did exist, and He really did care about us, and He really was answering our questions. It was like He really was answering our prayers. It was the most exciting, wonderful thing. It opened up a life, a path to us that we had never known before. And I gotta tell you, I'll never go back. I mean, part of me thinks, why, Lord? Why did it take till I was in my 40s to unlock this really awesome thing? And I don't know the answer to that. I think the Lord pursued me all my life and was there helping me before I gave it over to Him. But I'll never go back. And any one of you that is, a born-again Christian or has given your life to Jesus, you know what I'm talking about. And those that have not done it yet, pray. Ask Jesus for an encounter. Pray to Him. Say, please let me know that you're real. Talk to me. Give me an encounter so so I know how to do this. And He'll be faithful to answer. He will be. It's just amazing. And that is that is how I know that the entire purpose of our existence is about love. Loving God first, and then loving each other. Because once we love God and accept His love that gives us the strength to be able to love each other the way Jesus loved us. So if you haven't downloaded the book yet, please do so. It's a free PDF. Pass it on to whoever. It's just a testimony of my process, but it also goes way deeper in the subject of love and some things about love. It's a quick read about love and the Heavenly Father's love and how to find it, and the whole journey that I was on as a spiritual freelancer most of my life, an estate planning attorney, and then finding ultimately the Heavenly Father's love. It's really good. It's an easy read. So even if you don't like reading, you can get through this book so fast. I'm telling you. I should probably have elaborated on a lot of the points that I'm talking about in the book, but it was just my first my first book, my first thing that I wrote, and I just needed to share the great discovery of that life is all about love and how easy it is to get it once the secret is revealed. And it's like, I don't know why it has to be a secret. But anyways, I love love. So until next time, mahalo and aloha.